video, I wanted to look back at the goals that I set myself in 2018. I'll link up above and down below to the video that I put up with all my 2018 goals. Have a look back at how I did during the year and also set some new goals for 2019. So without further ado, I'm just going to go into my 2018 goals. Yeah, let's just get started. So the first goal that I set for myself in 2018 was to focus on balance and self-care. And basically this goal was all about less stressing, less pushing myself to the limit, and trying to prioritize looking after my health mentally and emotionally and also physically. And when I look back at how I went during the year, I would say I didn't actually meet this goal to the extent that I wanted. There were a few times during the year when I started pushing myself, especially towards the end of the year, and especially since I was also pregnant for most of the year, I still kept myself really busy. I was always doing stuff, whether it's for the blog or for the book club that we started or for author events and things like that. Not only on the blogging side, but in my personal life as well. I always scheduled myself to a T and to a limit, and sometimes I just hit rock bottom because it was just so tiring. And especially being pregnant as well, there's limited energy, should I say, that you have to dedicate yourself to all these different things. So I think that will be a big focus for me moving forward in 2019, especially since I'll be having a baby as well, is to focus on self-care a bit more and maybe dial down everything else a little less. The second goal I set for myself was relax the blogging schedule, and this is something that I'm happy to say I did meet. In the past, we used to post about 3 to 4 times a week. Me and my other 2 co-bloggers, we had to post at least once a week, and I would do 2 posts a week. Dialed that down to only doing 2 posts a week, and that's been really achievable. We've dropped 30% in page views, but it's something that I'm willing to accept for the amount of peace of mind that it's given me and not stressing as much about the blog as I used to. Number 3 was read more owned books on my shelf, and I'm really happy to say, after putting together this immense spreadsheet about all the books that I read during the year, that I did meet that. So I actually read 33 books off my shelf that were not from publishers, and I only purchased 23 new books, which I was really happy about. At least 23 that I have actually read for the year. So I don't know if I actually bought more books than that. I probably did, and I just didn't track it. But happily, out of the books that I actually read, I read 33 of my own books that were already on the shelf and 51 review copies that were sent from publishers. So when you put all those numbers together, it looks like I did meet my goal, that I did read more own books, that I didn't go out and borrow more from the library. That makes me really happy. Number 4 was read 80 books. I smashed my Goodreads reading challenge. I thought it was going to be a really busy year, which it was, because I traveled, I went to Europe, I got pregnant, and it was really busy at work as well. But I managed to read 122 books last year, and that is a phenomenal amount for me because I haven't read that much since 2015, and I'm really happy with that number. Moving forward, I think my Goodreads goal will be less as well. I honestly do not know how having a baby will impact my Goodreads reading challenge, so we'll see about that. Number 5 was less social media, and when I look back at the time that I spent on social media last year, I do not think I met this goal. The reason why I originally set this goal was because I found that social media was beginning to get me down, especially since you would be on there all the time and not progressing what you wanted to do in your own life. It's a form of procrastination, and sometimes you just start comparing yourself to others and you get wrapped up in dramas that are happening on social media rather than your own personal life. I did manage to put myself on hiatus a few times during the year, which were really helpful, especially when I went on holidays and things like that. When I first set myself this goal, I set myself with this blackout app on my phone that could block out all your social media time for about 1.5 hours, but then I ended up switching it off. So I think I managed to use my personal social media a lot less, so I spent less time on my personal Facebook, only because I didn't like how it was just people's highlights and Half the time, a lot of people on my Facebook I don't actually interact with and wouldn't want to know what I'm up to all the time. I tend to separate my personal and my bookish social media a lot because it's like you have two separate lives and you don't want people knowing all your shit. The main thing is I did not spend as little time on social media as I would have and would have liked, and also I don't think I will be managing to meet this goal this year either, only because I'll be a stay-at-home mum for most of the year, and I mean, what else is there to do but read books and take care of your baby and your dog and go on social media. Number 6 is focus on writing, and that was a goal I set myself at the start of the year because I had an ongoing WIP that I'm actually really proud of, and I wrote 6,000 words on it at the start of the year. But writing is something that was a new process to me. I've obviously not written fictional pieces in a long time, probably since high school when I wrote fan fiction, but anyway, that's another story. I promptly abandoned my WIP in February only because I kept on second guessing myself. Writing is something that gave me a lot of anxiety, obviously because I was so focused on making it perfect that I couldn't really get the words out, and every time I sat in front of the computer it's like I could not keep progressing my story and I kept on going back to the same scenes and trying to tie it up. Anyway, I do hope to pick that up sometime. I'm not sure if it'll be this year, but it was a story of my heart. But yeah, I promptly abandoned my writing goals in February, so that one wasn't met.